Here we go. The Donovan Mitchell rumors surrounding the New York Knicks continue to buzz for what seems at this point like 2 years. We're going to break down the latest rumors surrounding Donovan Mitchell as NBA experts, insiders like Charania and Brian Windhorst believe that the Cleveland Cavaliers may entertain the idea of trading Donovan Mitchell prior to the 2024 NBA trade deadline. And of course, they are linking our New York Knicks. But before we do so, I got to make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because if the Knicks make a move, we are going to make a video here on this channel. And if they trade for Donovan Mitchell, we may just go live for a very, 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 very long time. Free Knicks videos every day. Subscribe to the channel right now. I will say this about Donovan Mitchell and the current situation that the Cavaliers are dealing with. Darius, Garland, and Evan Mobley are going to be out for an extended period of time due to injuries. And if they struggle during that stretch without two of their top 5 players, could they look to cash in the chip of Donovan Mitchell? Because in my opinion, I don't think the trade value for Mitchell will ever be higher. And for a couple of reasons, right? There are no stars that are available right now. There's no disgruntled star. And Donovan Mitchell would be the only star available on the trade market. And there are a lot of teams trying to trade for that star. So if you have the only chip that every team in the NBA wants, there's going to be a lot of bids for it, right? But if you hold on to that chip and you don't know who else becomes available in the summer, that price may come down a little bit. You don't know who's going to be available in the summer. The Cavs may find it in their best interest right now to move Donovan Mitchell. I don't think they will, but I think it is an interesting idea that I guarantee they are talking about in their front office. ESPN said these are the 4 teams that everybody should keep their eyes on when it comes to potential Donovan Mitchell trade destinations. Obviously, the New York Knicks, Miami Heat, Brooklyn Nets, Houston Rockets. Tim McMahon and Brian Windhorst hinted that another team in the Western Conference could be interested. If I had to guess, I would think that they were talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder, but they only mentioned these 4 teams. Also, Charania said this earlier this morning, said, I could see the Knicks being active for sure in the trade market. They are definitely monitoring every star that could be available. Could that be Donovan Mitchell? Look, the Knicks will always be linked to Donovan Mitchell as long as he is not a member of the New York Knicks. Go back to the summer of 2022. We talked about this story from every single possible angle. And talking to that, a lot of people thought, you know what, Marshall, there was no way that Danny Ainge was ever going to trade Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks. Well, Charania said today the New York Knicks were a Quentin Grimes away from acquiring Donovan Mitchell. To me, that sounds like he could have had it. Sounds like all you had to do was include Quentin Grimes, which at the time, a lot of people didn't want to do. I understand why, but I think if we could all go back, we would pull the trigger on that trade, and who knows what this team would look like. We're going to talk about why I think, maybe or not, that the Knicks should go all in for Donovan Mitchell, but I want to hear from you in the comment section. Should they do it? Should Leon Rose pull the trigger? Should he push all his chips into the middle of the table to go acquire D. Mitch? Type Y for yes, type N for no. For me, they should go do it. Go get Donovan Mitchell, my man. You cannot continue to kick the can down the road forever. There's an expiration date on some of the assets that the Knicks have that they could use in a trade for a superstar. The $18 million contract to Evan Fournier. First-round picks from this year from the Mavs. Your own first-round pick. And a couple more assets as well. I would do it, but I'll tell you in detail why in a second. But first, I got to give a huge shout-out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS. And Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America, will match your initial deposit up to $100. What I love about Prize Picks is you can play daily fantasy sports in NFL, NBA, college football, college basketball, and so much more. I'm rolling with a 2-player NBA lineup for tonight, and I am taking advantage of their Taco Tuesday deal. Ja Morant will make his NBA season debut tonight, and they've got his total at 20.5 points. I'm going to select more on that, and I'm also going to select more on Damian Lillard's points at 27.5. You can roll with my picks or fade my picks, but just play fantasy sports with Prize Picks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. We kind of alluded to it a second ago, but the Knicks cannot continue to pass up on stars. You built this team with an image of wanting to go and add a superstar. And while I do not even think Donovan Mitchell is close to being a superstar. I do think he is a star in this league, and I do think he makes the New York Knicks better. What do you guys think about this potential starting five? Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Josh Hart at your wing, Julius Randle at the 4, and Mitchell Robinson at the 5. Look, the Knicks made it to the second round last year, went to a Game 6 against the Miami Heat. Jalen Brunson dropped 90 points in back-to-back closeout games. I think if you had Donovan Mitchell to that team last year, the Knicks would beat the Heat. I'm going to be honest. I think this starting 5 could win the Eastern Conference. I truly do believe that because I know that Jalen Brunson is going to play like one of the best players in the NBA in the playoffs. And something just tells me that this is the year that Julius Randle is going to play good in the playoffs. Tell me this. If I'm lying, I'm flying. If regular season Julius Randle shows up in the playoffs and he gives you 27 and 12 every single night on 45% from the field, and Jalen Brunson does what Jalen Brunson does in the playoffs and he averages 30, you're telling me your third option, Donovan Mitchell, can't be a piece on a championship team? I think they could. Because you still got guys like Dante DiVincenzo. You still have guys like Isaiah Hartenstein, and you can still go and make other trades. But I do understand that Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell are not the perfect fit. It is not ideal to have 2 6'1" guards that are negative defenders. But you know what is ideal? Having 2 guys that can go and get you 40 points any single night. I also love the fact that Donovan Mitchell wants to be a Knick. We know this. He's pretty much said it 100 times. He wants to play for the Knicks. He wants to be a Knick, grew up, born in Westchester. Dad works for the Mets. Makes a lot of sense. And on top of that, he's a damn good basketball player, right? I mean, this year he's just doing the damn thing. 28 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 45% from the deck, 35% from 3. He's been doing it his entire career. There's a reason that he was traded for a haul when he went from Utah to Cleveland. There's a reason that when he got to Cleveland, they immediately became one of the best teams in the NBA. Do I think he's a superstar? No. Do I think he could be a number 1 player on a championship contender? No. I think he's closer to a second and third option. But 100% he would make the New York Knicks better. Thing is, it's not going to be cheap. If the Cavs are going to trade Donovan Mitchell, which they absolutely should, because he's not going to re-sign with them coming up in a couple of summers, they're going to try to get everything that they gave up in a trade for him. Remember, they traded Colin Sexton. They traded Lauri Markkanen, and they traded 2 really good players. They're going to want some of those players and some of those picks back if they're shipping out Donovan Mitchell. So who would the Knicks potentially have to give up? I think R.J. Barrett goes in any deal that involves Donovan Mitchell. And I think probably Emmanuel quickly goes, and maybe even Quentin Grimes goes in a deal. So what does that leave you with? Brunson, Robinson, DiVincenzo, Randle, Hart, Hartenstein, and Donovan Mitchell. It's 8 players right there. That's all you need in the playoffs. I think those 8 would be a tough out for any team in this league. Why do you need to make a trade now? Because some of these assets you have aren't going to last forever. Most notably, your picks in the 2024 draft. Look, the Mavs pick is going to convey. The Knicks are going to get the Dallas Mavericks first-round pick this year, and they have the first-round pick of their own. You don't want that to go to waste. You can't afford, if you're the Knicks, to use those picks and select rookies on your own and come and play on this team because there's nowhere for these teams to go. I think you'd probably have to give up 3 unprotected first-round picks and multiple protected first-round picks for a guy like Donovan Mitchell. I'd try to give them as much of the 2024 first-round picks that the Knicks own. I think his Pistons pick is essentially, it's not that valuable. Let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. These 2 picks, the Pistons and the Wizards pick, are not all that valuable, and who knows when those are going to convey. I would go get Donovan Mitchell. I know I've gone back and forth on it before, but I'm planting my flag here. Donovan Mitchell makes the Knicks a better basketball team. For that reason, and probably that reason alone, is why I would go and do it. Is it perfect? No, but I would go and make that trade because I'm trying to make the Knicks the best basketball team they can be right now. What is your trade offer for Donovan Mitchell? I think it's going to cost you at minimum R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel quickly. Couple of first, couple protected picks, Evan Fournier, maybe you have to throw in Quentin Grimes as well. Let me know. What is your trade offer for Donovan Mitchell? As always, just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for tuning in to Knicks Now by Chat Sports. If you haven't yet, give me a follow over on Twitter @MarshallGreen_.